So seeing this panel today reminded me of when I used to work in an after-school program for 5 years. For after-school people out there, I know there's a few in here. And that was prior to me coming to Advancement Project. It was my first job, and I had never worked with young people. And in my case, it was middle school students. This morning, we heard from Camille's granddaughter. We heard from John Kim's daughter's story. And for those who have encountered or have worked with or currently work with middle school students, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say they are changing and going through a lot of change. They are testing many personalities. And more importantly, for me, what I saw is that they felt misunderstood. But I immediately fell in love in working with them. They were inspirational. They taught me that every day was a new day. And they also taught me that they want to be seen as their own person. It also did not take me long for me to realize that these young people have a lot to say and that they're also natural-born leaders. And I immediately started incorporating them in my decision-making process, asking them what they wanted to see, what they wanted to do. On one hand, I started to give them the jobs that I should have probably been giving my staff, like emceeing the event, like fundraising the things that we were wanting to see, given that it was during the recession, so a lot of our funding was being cut down at the time. And literally our motto was at the time, make magic work out of nothing. And so I used our young people, and that's a horrible word to say use, right? But I really tapped into their power and their leadership, and they made my job so much easier. And my program skyrocketed at the time. My attendance went up, which was a very important thing at the time as well, because every student we got money back for. And it was something that I was just really excited to see because I know that I was able to see students for who they were. So I want to personally thank the 2 students that we had today. Marche flew up from Los Angeles early this morning. And Stephanie took a train from Berkeley right after class because they wanted to share their stories with you all today. Because they believe, as do I, that you all have power in the room to create the schools that they laid out. To create schools where they feel seen, where they feel heard, and where they feel understood. My name is Jessenia Reyes. I'm the Manager for Educational Equity at Advancement Project. I want to thank you all for joining us on day 1 as we build a shared California for all students. So thank you for being here. We started off the day laying the foundation on the resources needed to fully fund our schools, from early care and education to K to 12th grade. And then we heard about an example on schools and communities first as an opportunity to address our historic disinvestments we've seen for a very long time. We heard from a national example on many leaders that are trying to invest in early care and education in partnership with advocates like yourselves. And then we heard from the dual language policy platform on tailored and specific policies that will do better by our most diverse kids in California. And lastly, we heard from this very inspirational panel that I would have to say is probably my favorite. No bias, but I just love you young people. And with that being said, again, just hopefully to be able to create the schools that they all laid out and want to see. So we learned a lot. There were a lot of panelists. And I want to take a quick second. I think there was a lot of information. And when we were at conferences, we take up and we soak up a lot of the information. And then we probably go back at work. And then we get back into the grind and probably forget some of the things. So I would love for you all to reflect on a panel that inspires you, a conversation from someone new that you met today, or from a panelist, right, that motivates you to do more to fight for educational equity. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about that. So like they say, we can hold you all accountable to see how those conversations led you to do more. Thank you for your time. So I want to thank the Advancement Project staff. They have been working rigorous to put this event together. We were down a few staff at AP, and we were able to pull off this event. I know we still have day 2 tomorrow, so I want to thank everyone who helped support in putting this together. I also want to thank you all for joining us on day 1. Tomorrow we will start at 8:45, so we will start a little bit earlier. And we will start off our day with our new state superintendent, Tony Thurmond, as he lays out his vision with a racial equity and economic justice lens. So please be here bright and early. And this concludes day one. So thank you for being here.